Hi, I'm here with Rachel Marker, and we are talking about storytelling. The experience of connection defines you. What's that mean?
That means I believe that no matter what I do or in who I do it with, there is a connection to be made somehow in some way.
Break that down.
Break that down. That means, you know what, I could be walking across the street in downtown Fort Worth and look at someone who might be sitting on a park bench and they might be reading a book that I had read 3 years ago. And you know what? I may sit down and just strike up a conversation with that person, only to find out that they may had picked up that book 3 years ago in another country and had been reading it in the same country that I had been at, only to find out that we had eaten at the same restaurant and had taken a similar tour or had done something. Or it could be I am at the grocery store and I come across someone who is looking like they may need a little bit of help, or someone who is lost on the street, and just stopping and seeing if there's a way that I can be of service to them. And that connection in life is very satisfying, to be able to be of service to others.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm talking with Rachel Marker, who's a connector and developer of people, places, and ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out.
Yeah.
How did you come? Is that your tagline? Did you come up with that, or that's?
You know, after a lot of thinking about, I've had folks often say to me, you know, what's your thing? What's your gig? And when I think about it, I am a connector. I love to connect people together. And then I think about, I'm a developer. So I like to develop people. I also like to develop places. I love public spaces in general. And I love having really big conversations about big ideas. And it just kind of, it really just resonated with me that that's who I am. I am a connector developer of people, places, and I like to really emphasize really big ideas. Because if you get a group of people together, everyone has something to say. And I feel I've been fortunate enough to be able to really draw out questions and get folks in a conversation that brings out the best in everyone, which therefore will bring out the best in whatever situation that might be at hand.
Okay. How about that, everyone? Now, bring everyone on in.
Bring everyone on in.
Bring your family in.
That's right.
That didn't happen overnight.
No, it took a while.
I guess it was 1992.
Yes, it was.
The life-changing experience.
Yes, sir. I woke up one day and my feet were numb. I wasn't quite sure what that was. And I went into the doctor and they said, you know what, you're probably a little stressed and just go home and relax over the weekend. It was a Friday. And by Sunday afternoon...
How old were you then?
I was 23 years old. And it was kind of a scary time. I just lost my mother and wasn't quite sure what was happening with me. But I knew I couldn't feel my feet. I couldn't feel my fingertips. I couldn't feel my nose. And by Sunday afternoon, I realized I had no feeling from my knees down, and I realized I needed to go into the emergency room, and went into the emergency room, and within 24 hours, I was a quadriplegic. I was completely paralyzed from the neck down, and after a week, they finally realized that it was something called Guillain-Barré, which is a very rare virus that can happen if you have mono and not know it. And I had the pleasure of having mono and didn't know it. And I laid flat for nearly a year and didn't know if I would ever walk again. And I'm here to say that yes, I am a walker today. I'm a little bit of a slow walker. I like to say that I have a bit of a swagger now. And I made a lot of promises to myself while I laid flat during that year. And while I learned to recover, I had to learn to eat again. I had to learn to walk again. And I promised myself that, one, I would never say no to an invitation because I know my life can change in an instant, and that I would connect with people in ways most people won't take that risk, and truly exposing who you are as a person on this earth. And I promised myself that I would travel one day and that I would do it in a really big way.
Let's talk about that. You've been to 7 continents and 56 countries.
To date, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the future hold?
The future holds for travel. I would like to eventually be able to say that I have made it to anywhere between 100 and 150 countries before I burn out, because I refuse to fade out.
Burn out before I fade out.
Yes.
I'm crying. My eyes are watering. That's fantastic. That is awesome. So now, how has that crossed over to what you do professionally?
How has that crossed over? I realized that
It's a life-changing event that you then basically have now traveled the world. How has that left you motivated to want to work?
it's different. It's
Yeah.
it's about passion. It's about finding what you love to do,
Right?
and with the people that you want to do it with. And when you are able to make that connection, it truly isn't work. It seems so cliche, and it's not. It's true. When you have that balance of work and professional and personal, and that wants and those desires aren't, that they're in alignment and that there isn't conflict, and that amount of just being able to be passionate and be clear, and the clarity, it just exists. It's easier. It's so much easier to, I'm not attaining, I'm truly looking for the best interests for everyone involved.
So when you've had a life-changing experience like that and you deal in the rat race of today, how do you find clarity?
I find clarity by realizing most things don't matter.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But how do you bring clarity to the people around you? I mean, we have people around us right now that are working on 2 different devices at the same time. Things are going 900 miles a minute. I mean, we're on that treadmill, right?
Right.
But people that have had those life-changing experiences, like yourself, look through the other end of the telescope, I like to say. Look through different filters. So, and have a story to tell that's different. But at the same time, they always say, I love it when I get off the treadmill because I don't like being on it. My best time is when I go and escape, because when I have to get back into this grind, it's not real. It's
Right.
How do you get back centered to where you want to be? I don't know if there's no silver bullet to that answer, but I mean, when you say to date,
Yes.
you've got big plans.
So I look at it as I live my life with gratitude. And every day I take a moment in my day and I will write a letter of gratitude. I will call someone that I am grateful for, and I take the time and I stop, because it really does help center everything else that I'm doing professionally on that, constantly moving. And so it's important that I stop, and I encourage others around me to stop and just take that moment, because you may never get that moment back again.
Yeah.
And I'll say that. We may never have this moment again together. And for us to be able to connect, it's super important that when we walk away, like, you know what, I know more about Chris, and hopefully Chris knows more about me and everyone that I come in contact with. I hope that we're able to have that type of experience. And while it may not always happen that way, especially in a professional setting, I want people to realize the genuineness is sincereness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I posted something last night, 32 things to make you more successful, and how to get 32 things to make you more successful. But the bottom line is to stop and smell the roses.
Yes.
Life goes by so fast, and that you've got to take advantage of every minute, and do reach out. That we all get so wrapped up in our own world and everything that we're doing, and that you do have to reach out, because not everyone can extend the same hand we do, and you do have to make that effort. So when you talk about professionally, what are you up to these days? What are you doing to keep you stimulated?
What am I up to?
To keep you stimulated.
To keep me stimulated professionally?
Yeah.
I started a new endeavor with an amazing architecture firm here in Fort Worth.
Terrific. Tell me about it.
They are a 40-year-old firm based in St. Louis.
Okay.
A commercial architecture and design, landscape planning, and environmental graphics firm. Women-owned. And what's stimulating about it is I'm literally taking something from nothing and creating it with a culture and with people that have the same types of beliefs as I do. I finally have made that pinnacle point in my career where I found a firm that believes in work-life balance, but most importantly, giving back to the community. And the firm Arcturus that I now am a managing principal of, they believe that, and they want everyone involved in the community and giving back, whatever passion it may be. It may be a homeless shelter, it may be a Rotary, it may be a bicycling team that raises money for others in need, but there's passion serving on different boards, but it's also that grassroots efforts, and we believe that. And I've never experienced that before professionally, and that keeps me stimulated, because as someone who's growing a market, it's hard to attract folks. We know that there's not a lot of people in our industry right now. A lot of people left, and so they're getting a lot of dollars for the jobs today. And you know what? I'm not selling that story, Chris. I want people to work for Arcturus, to work within the Fort Worth and the Texas markets and nationally, because we're different. And everyone says, oh yeah, we're different. And no, we mean it. And we mean it because we constantly give back. And when someone says to you, well, how does that work? How do you find that balance? That balance is when you love what you do, and part of what you love doing is to give back to the community, and your company supports you in that. Endless energy is something that I feel I have been given and thrilled about.
So you had a lot of different choices. Why this company?
For just that reason. They have had 40 years of being in business. They have had a philanthropic background. The founder, Pat Whitaker, she believed in giving back to the community, and 40 years later, through a very successful succession plan, all of the leadership and everyone within the firm gives back. And you don't find that. You hear a lot of chat, and this is a firm that's doing it. They're real. They're the real deal.
Great. And when will you are launching here in Fort Worth this fall?
We have officially landed in Fort Worth as of October of 2016.
Fantastic.
And we have 5 folks on the ground right now, and we are rapidly growing and just about ready to launch our new office space before the end of the year. So we have some very exciting projects that we're working on here in Texas, and actually nationally through our Fort Worth office, and also in collaboration with our St. Louis office.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, what are you up to? What are your passion projects that you're working on?
What am I working on? I'm working on a couple of really some confidential projects. that have
that means you can't tell us.
Can't say what I'm working on, and it's actually will change the way Fort Worth is looking at living and working in downtown.
Cool.
Specifically, and I'm super excited with some incubator spaces and some co-working spaces, just lots of really exciting, some fitness centers, you name it. We're doing a little bit of everything right now. Very fortunate that the relationships that that have been in this market are very supportive, and the future seems very bright.
What are you most excited about Fort Worth right now? What excites you about Fort Worth?
Just the amount of growth. The way that we are just sprawling out. Downtown is growing. We see everything that's happening with Panther Island. We see what's happening at Alliance. We see what's happening. Just everything it's growing proportionately. And the city is doing it in such a way that all of the various entities are coming together for the greater good of the community. And in other communities that I've worked in before, it doesn't necessarily happen that way, and Fort Worth's doing it right. We are going slow to go fast, and we are living what we say we want to do, and we are doing it harmoniously.
Terrific. This is true. We are going, how did you say that? We're going slow
to go fast.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and wrapping up, we've got to talk food because
Yes.
I love sweets. My
Mm.
eyes are killing me. I guess it's because maybe I didn't sleep last night. That's why they're watering. Okay, you like to eat. I like to eat. What's your favorite breakfast place?
My favorite, Taco Head tacos, yes.
Taco Heads.
Yes,
And for lunch, do you have a go-to lunch place that you guys like to go?
I am a pie. I love pizza. Stranded on a desert island, I would eat pizza every day.
Where's that?
Pizza?
The standard, did you say stranded on the desert?
I was
I thought that was the
stranded
name of a
on
place,
yeah,
stranded on. I was like,
no.
where's stranded on the desert?
I
I've never
would,
heard of that. I've never heard of that. I want to go. It sounds awesome. I like it. So you love pizza? Okay. Do you have a favorite pizza?
Pizza pie place. It depends where I'm at. What part of the in Fort Worth?
Do you have a couple of go-to?
I do.
places?
I'm a fireside pie
Okay.
gal.
You like thick or?
I'm kind of a thinner crust
Yeah,
kind of
me
gal.
too.
Yeah, I like the crispy wafer part of it. Good
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
And then do you have a go-to as far as your favorite nighttime? We're all about cultivating business. And the thing about storytelling, Mary and I were talking about this yesterday, is the fact that restaurants are so easy because you can tell that story so easily, right?
Yes.
It's great. So, but do you have a favorite?
Place to hang out at?
Yeah,
I
nighttime.
have a couple. So, back to the Fireside. Absolutely love Fireside. There was a bartender there who got to know before I met the husband, who then moved over to the Proper over off of Magnolia. And then there's also Kent & Co. I like going into places where people know your name.
Absolutely.
And I go into a couple of places like that, and they're like, "Hey, Rachel, what do you got?" And they know what I drink, and there's always good times.
Like cheers.
It is. Also, the Fort Worth Club, it's always good going over there and
Sure.
hanging out, and that feels like family there too. So
Great. Well, we're thrilled you guys are in Fort Worth, and we look forward to profiling you guys when you get the new shop open downtown.
yes, very excited. It's coming, and it's coming fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time flies. It will be here before you know it. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Chris. It's good to see you again.
You also. I'm Chris Quinn.
I'm Rachel Marker.
This is Fort Worth Today. Please share our content. We appreciate that, and we look forward to seeing everyone. Have a great week. Stay cool.